Hello everyone, this is Asraf Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triple Department, working in ISL Engineering College. I am taking the subject High Voltage DC Transmission for Triple Final Year students. So in the previous classes, I have started the second unit and I have discussed about the converter circuits used in line commutated converters, that is LCC. In today's class, we are going to see about the converter circuits used in voltage source converter stations. So let us first start with basic two-level converter, that is Grade's bridge. So configuration of voltage source converter with two levels will be having 6 switches. So each switch will consist of cell commutated IGBT device and an anti-parallel connected diode as shown in this figure. So diode will be switch will be consisting of IGBT and a diode. So DC side will be connected to the capacitor and AC side will be connected to the source voltage through inductors as shown in this figure. Okay. So DC side we are connecting to the capacitor here and AC side will be connected to the source voltage through inductors. Okay students. So voltage EA, EB and EC will be injected by voltage source converter and it will depend on VDC, that is the voltage across the capacitor. And current IDC will be flowing into the capacitor is a function of source currents, that is it is equal to IA plus IB plus IC. In each leg of the converter, only one switch can be turned on at a given time to avoid short circuit across the capacitor. Each switch will conduct for 180 degrees and switch 1 must be turned off before switch 4 is turned on in the leg connected to phase A. So similar will be applied for switches in the legs connected to phases B and C. So waveform of EA depend on the reference point. So here in this left side diagram, we can see a VSC leg connected to phase A. So with respect to midpoint M of the capacitor, waveform of the voltage EAM will be as shown in this figure. EAM, EMN, EAN and EAB. Four waveforms we can see here. Okay. So this voltage will have only two levels, that is plus VDC by 2 and minus VDC by 2. Okay. Plus VDC by 2 and minus VDC by 2. Voltages EBM, ECM, EAM will lag by 120 degrees and 240 degrees respectively. So EMN consists of only a zero sequence voltage with the triplet harmonics. Subtracting EMN from EAM, we will get EAN. So waveform of EAN will be as shown in third figure here. This is EAN. First waveform is for EAM, second is for EMN, third is for EAN, fourth is for EAB. The face-to-face voltage EAB does not contain zero sequence components and its waveform will be as shown in the fourth figure like this. Both EAN and EAB will contain only harmonics of the order h is equal to 6k plus or minus 1. K will be an integer. Peak value of fundamental component of injected voltage will be given by 4 by pi 4 VDC by 2 or it is equal to root 2 into 0.90 VDC by 2. Now let us see the 3-level voltage source converter. 3-level voltage source converter, also it is called as neutral point clamped NPC converter, is a special case of multi-level diode clamp converter. This will have 2 capacitors on DC bus and 4 valves in each leg as shown in the figure. So there are 2 clamping diodes in each phase. Okay. In each phase we can see that there are 2 clamping diodes, and although the number of switches is doubled, voltage rating is also doubled. For the same level of capacitor voltage, number of devices required per switch are halved. The operation of a 3-level converter is determined by switching rule that only 2 valves that are directly connected in series can be switched on at a time. Okay. So only 2 valves that are directly connected in series can be switched on at a time. So in this figure, switching on S1 and S2 will connect the phase to the positive terminal P, while S2 and S3 will connect to the midpoint M via clamping diodes, and S3 and S4 will connect to terminal N. So resulting voltage injector EAM has 3 levels. EAM will have 3 levels. It can be shown that peak value of the fundamental components of the injected voltage is given by E1 is equal to 4 by pi VTC by 2 cos beta, and Harmonic voltage is given by EH is equal to 2 by H pi VDC cos H beta, where H is equal to 6K plus or minus 1, K will be an integer. Okay. Next, let us start with the topic pulse width modulation. So, in order to control the power and reactive power, it is essential to control the magnitude and phase angle of the injected voltage by the converter. So, at the same time, it is desirable to regulate DC bus voltage. So, another requirement is to minimize the injection of low order harmonics by the converter. So, pulse width modulation is a technique by which we can achieve all these objectives. Okay, that is, first one is to control the output AC voltage for a constant DC voltage, and second one is to minimize the harmonics subject to the constraints on the switching losses, generation of noise, etc. Frequency ratio P is equal to F by capital F by small f. A capital F is modulation frequency and small f is the fundamental output frequency. P is called as pulse number. So higher the value of pulse number, broader the spectrum of harmonics that can be eliminated. The switching frequency is dependent on devices used. Maximum switching frequency for GTO thyristor is only around 100 Hz. So this is why pulse width modulation is not used in GTO based VSC employed in high power fax controllers. So next let us see selective harmonic elimination. So this is also termed as the optimized PWM technique. By reversing the phase voltages a few times during each half cycle, it is possible to eliminate low order harmonics selectively. However, high order harmonics may increase in magnitude, but current harmonics are not significantly affected due to low pass filter characteristics of AC system. So in this figure, that is, we are seeing the two waveforms here, waveforms of EM with voltage reversals. Okay. So figure shows the waveforms of phase voltage EAM with 4 and 6 reversals within one half cycle. So this is for 4 voltage reversals and this is for 6 voltage reversals in half cycle. Voltage reversals will be affected at chosen instance such that the notches are placed symmetrically about the entire line of each half cycle. If there are P switching in a quarter cycle, RMS value of the nth harmonic will be given by E equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2 4 by pi VDC by 2 minus of integral 0 to alpha 1 sin n theta d theta plus integral alpha 1 to alpha 2 sin n theta d theta and so on, plus or minus integral alpha p to pi by 2 sin n theta d theta. Alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha p are the switching angles within each quarter cycle. Now let us see the sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Sinusoidal pulse width modulation technique is widely used for industrial converters. This method is also known as sub-oscillation method and it will use a triangular carrier wave of frequency f to generate a sinusoidal reference voltage of frequency f. So modulated output voltage of converter approximates a staircase shape in which each step is the average value over each cycle of the carrier wave. So this diagram is showing a sinusoidal pulse width modulation where we can see it will use a triangular carrier wave to generate sinusoidal reference voltage of frequency f. Okay, so sine pulse width modulation technique can be compared to the selective harmonic elimination pulse width modulation technique which we have discussed earlier. So instance of voltage reversals will be determined by intersection between reversal sinusoidal voltage of peak value m and triangular voltage of amplitude 1. So in this figure it will showing the operation of sine wave for p is equal to f by f, that is 9. Okay. P is nothing but pulse number here. So pulse number is 9 here with small m equal to 0.5. Modulation is said to be in the linear range if m lies between 0 and 1. Same carrier wave can be used for all three phases with reference voltages in each phase, phase shifted from each other by 120 degrees. Fundamental frequency E1 of t is given by m sin 2 pi ft. Harmonics are present in output and have the frequencies given by fh is equal to mf plus or minus nf. So m and n are the integers. Harmonics are significant only around the frequency mf. In general, harmonics will be determined by frequency spectrum of reference wave and that due to modulation. With the sinusoidal reference wave, all harmonics will be generated by PWM process. The reference wave can be divided into P intervals with each interval representing one cycle of the carrier wave. In each interval, reference wave can be sampled by representing it as a constant value, which is the mean of the reference wave within the interval. So the reference wave is represented by staircase waveform as shown in this figure on the left hand side. It is in the form of a staircase. Staircase waveform, this is after sampling. So two sample waveforms with identical mean values have approximately the same fundamental component and low order harmonics. So waveforms shown in this figure on right hand side, A, B, C. So A, B, which represent one stair and a notch waveform generated by triangular wave, and in C, it is having the same mean value. So this shows that sine pulse width modulation results in the output voltage equivalent to a voltage having staircase waveform. As the pulse number P is increased, staircase waveform approximate closes the reference sine wave. So maximum value of fundamental voltage even with sine pulse width modulation is 0.5 VDC. Maximum value of fundamental voltage for square wave converter is 2 by pi VDC, and maximum value of normalized modulation index for sine pulse width modulation is pi by 4, that is 0.785. So by injecting a third harmonic which is 1/6 of the fundamental, it is possible to increase M value, that is it will be given by pi by 2 root 3, that is 0.907. Now let us do the analysis of HVDC converters. So in the previous classes and today's class, we have discussed in detail about the study of converter circuits which are used in line commutated converters and voltage source converter stations. So now we are going to analyze them. So HVDC converters will convert AC to DC and transfer DC power. Then DC again converted into AC by using inverter station. Okay, we know this one. So there will be two stations, rectifier station and inverter station. Rectifier station will convert AC to DC. Inverter station will convert DC to AC. So HVDC system mainly consists of two stations. One is a rectifier station which will transfer from AC to DC network, and other is inverter station which will transfer from DC to AC network. For all the HVDC converters, 12 pulse bridge converters will be used. Same converter can act as both rectifier as well as inverter depending upon the firing angle alpha. If firing angle alpha is less than 90 degrees, converter will act in rectifier mode, and if the firing angle is greater than 90 degrees, the converter will act as inverter mode. Okay students, is this clear point? Is this point clear? So what we are telling here that the same converter is acting as a rectifier and inverter depending upon the firing angle. If the firing angle is less than 90 degrees, then it will act as rectifier. And if the firing angle is more than 90 degrees, then it will act as inverter. So this is the choice of converter configuration. Okay, 1 1 1 2 1 R and so on 1 R, 2 1 2 2 2 and so on 2 R, S1 S2 and so on SR. So for a given pulse number, select the configuration such a way that both the valve and the transformer utilization are minimized. So we have to select the pulse number in such a way that valve and transformer utilization are minimized. So in general, converter configuration can be selected by basic commutation group, and number of such groups connected in series and parallel. Commutation group means set of valves in which only one valve will conduct at a time. Let Q be the number of valves in a commutation group, R be the number of parallel connection, and S be the number of series connection. Then total number of valves will be QRS. Q is the total number of valves, R is the number of valves in parallel connection, S be the number of valves in series connection. So QRS. So commutation group is defined as a group of valves in which only one will conduct at a time. If you are neglecting overlap, of course. So now let us see, first is valve rating or valve voltage rating, anything is same. So valve voltage rating is specified in terms of peak inverse voltage it can withstand. Valve utilization is the ratio of peak inverse voltage to average DC voltage converter. Converter average DC voltage is given by VDO is equal to SQ by pi Vm sin pi by Q. If Q is even, then my peak inverse voltage. Let us see the peak inverse voltage. If Q is even, then maximum inverse voltage occurs when valve with a phase displacement of pi radian in conducting, and it is given by PIV is equal to 2 Vm. If Q is odd, maximum inverse voltage will occur when the valve with a phase shift of pi plus pi by Q in conducting, and this is given by PIV is equal to 2 Vm cos pi by 2Q. Next is utilization factor. Utilization factor is PIV by VD0, that is 2 pi by SQ sin pi by Q. If Q is even, and if Q is odd, it is given as pi by SQ as sin pi by 2Q. Now let us analyze a grid circuit, that is 6 pulse converter bridge. So this diagram is showing a schematic diagram of a 6 pulse grid circuit. 6 diodes are there here, 135, 462, Okay, and EA, EB, EC is connected to this VA, VB, and VC. Okay. So grid circuit utilizes a transformer and converter unit to at most level and it maintains low voltage across the valve when not in conduction. So due to this quality present in grid circuit, it dominates all other alternative circuits from being implemented in HVDC converter. Low voltage across the valves is nothing but the peak inverse voltage which the valve should withstand. 6-pulse grid circuit consists of 6 valves arranged in bridge type and converter transformer having tappings on the AC side for voltage control. AC supply will be given for the 3 winding of the converter transformer connected in star with grounded neutral. Windings on the valve side will be either connected in star or delta with ungrounded neutral. 6 valves of the circuit will be fired in a definite and fixed order and DC output obtained contains 6 DC pulses per 1 cycle of AC voltage wave. See in this diagram, students, sequence of conduction of valve of 3-phase fully controlled 6-pulse bridge converter is shown here. So we can connect them either in star. Okay, so we are connecting in star here. So conducting valves is 6-1. First diagram is showing 6-1. Second diagram is showing conducting valves are 1-2. Third is showing conducting valves are 2-3. Fourth is showing conducting valves are 3-4. Fifth is showing 5-4-5, 5-6. Let us see what is the transformer rating. Current rating of a valve is given by I is equal to ID by R root Q, where ID is the DC current which is assumed to be constant, and transformer rating on the valve side is given by S is equal to P EM by root 2 IV. So from equations 1 and 2 we can write P is equal to QRS, STV equal to P VD naught pi by root 2 SQ sin pi by Q ID by R root Q, and STV equal to pi by root 2 VD naught ID by root Q sin pi by Q. Transformation utilization factor, that is STV by VD naught ID, is a function of Q. So as AC supply is 3-phase, so commutation group of 3 valves can be easily arranged. So for Q is equal to 3, STV by VD naught ID equal to pi by root 2 into 3 sin pi by 3, or STV by VD naught ID is 1.48. So transformation utilization can be improved if 2 valve groups can share single transformer winding. In this case, current rating of the winding can be increased by a factor of root 2 while decreasing the number of windings by a factor of 2. So it is a 6-pulse converter consisting of 2 winding transformer where the transformation utilization factor is increased when compared to 3 winding transformer. This one, this diagram. It is a 6-pulse converter consisting of 2 winding transformers where the transformation utilization factor is increased when compared to 3 winding transformer. Series conduction of converter groups has been preferred because of controlling and protection as well as the requirements for high voltage ratings. So a 12-pulse converter can be obtained by series connection of 2 bridges. So 6 plus 6 will become 12, and this can be we can make a 12-pulse converter by series connection of 2 bridges. So 30 degrees phase displacement between two sets of source voltages is achieved by transformer connections, star-star for one bridge and star-delta for other bridge. Use of 12-pulse converter is preferable over 6-pulse converter because of reduced filtering requirements. So now let us see analysis of grid circuit without overlap. Okay, so from last 3 classes we are doing analysis of grid circuit without overlap only, students. Okay, next class I will be telling with overlap. So this is part 3, analysis of grid circuit without overlap, part 3. Okay, students. So 6-pulse converter without overlapping valve construction sequence are 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 1. At any instant, 2 valves will be conducting in the bridge. One from the upper group and another from the lower group. Okay, students. Each valve arm conducts for a period of 1/3 of half cycle, that is 60 degrees. In one full cycle of AC supply, there will be 6 pulses in the DC waveform. So this bridge is called as 6-pulse converter. The following assumptions are made to simplify the analysis. First one is AC voltage at the converter input is sinusoidal and constant. So we are assuming these the following 3 things to simplify our analysis. Okay. So first one is AC voltage at the converter input is sinusoidal and constant. Second is DC current is constant. Third is valves are assumed as ideal switches with zero impedance when on, that is when conducting, and with infinite impedance when off, that is when not conducting. In one full cycle of AC supply, we will get 6 pulses in the output. Each pair of the devices will conduct 60 degrees. DC output voltage waveform repeats every 60 degrees interval. Therefore, for calculation of average output voltages, we will consider only one pulse and multiply with 6 for one full cycle. So in this case, each device will fire for 120 degrees. So let us see the firing angle delay. Delay angle is the time required for firing the pulses in a converter for its conduction. It is generally expressed in electrical degrees. In other words, it is the time between zero crossing of commutation voltage and starting point of forward current conduction. The mean value of DC voltage can be reduced by decreasing the conduction duration, which can be achieved by delaying the pulses. That is, by increasing the delay angle, we can reduce the DC voltage, and also the power transmission from one valve to another valve can also be reduced. When alpha equal to 0, commutation will take place naturally and the converter acts as a rectifier. When alpha is greater than 60 degrees, voltage with negative spikes appears and the direction of power flow is from AC to DC system without change in magnitude of current. When alpha is equal to 90 degrees, negative and positive portions of the voltage are equal, and because of above fact, DC voltage per cycle is 0. Hence, the energy transferred is also 0. When alpha is greater than 90 degrees, the converter acts as an inverter and the flow of power is from DC system to AC system. So let valve 3 is fired at an angle of alpha. The DC output voltage is given by VDC is equal to VD0 cos alpha. VD can be given as EB minus EC, that is equal to EBC. EBC is equal to root 2 VLL sin omega t plus 60 degrees. Therefore, VDC is equal to 6 by 2 pi integral alpha to alpha plus 60 EBC d omega t. VDC is equal to 3 by pi integral alpha to alpha plus 60 degrees root 2 VLL sin omega t plus 60 degrees d omega t. So, we will get the value of VDC as 1.35 VLL cos alpha. Now, let us see DC voltage waveform. DC voltage waveform contains ripple whose frequency is 6 times the supply frequency. This can be analyzed in Fourier series and contains harmonics of the order of h is equal to np. P is the pulse number and n is the integer. RMS value of h or the harmonic in DC voltage is given by Vh is equal to Vd0 root 2 by h square minus 1 plus into 1 plus h square minus 1 sin square alpha whole power half. Although alpha can vary from 0 to 180 degrees, full range cannot be utilized. In order to ensure the firing of all the series connected thyristor, it is necessary to provide a minimum limit of alpha greater than 0, say 5 degrees. Also, in order to allow for the turn of time of a valve, it is necessary to provide an upper limit less than 180 degrees. So, the delay angle alpha is not allowed to go beyond 180 gamma, where gamma is called extinction angle. Sometimes it is also called as marginal angle. Minimum value of the extinction angle is typically 10 degrees, although in normal operation as an inverter, it is not allowed to go below 15 degrees or 18 degrees. So this is the waveforms of the direct voltage and VAB voltage for different values of alpha, students. Already this also we have seen in the previous classes. So here for alpha equal to 0, alpha 45, 90, 135 and 180. We are showing the diagram here. So these are the DC and valve voltage waveforms. So left hand side all the DC waveforms are there, on right hand side all the valve voltage waveforms are there. X-axis omega t is in degrees. Okay. So alpha equal to 0, 45, 90, 135 and 180 degrees. We are seeing the DC voltage and valve voltage waveforms. Now let us see now AC current waveform. It is assumed that the direct current has no ripple or harmonics because of the smoothing reactor provided in series with the bridge circuit. Okay, smoothing reactor also we have studied in the previous classes. So we are telling here that if the smoothing reactor is there, then we are assuming that there will be no ripples or harmonics. Okay. So AC currents flowing through the valve and primary windings of the converter transformer will contain harmonics. So waveform of the current in a valve winding is shown in the figure. This is the AC current waveform. Okay, so once it is positive, then it is going to 0, again going to negative, then again going to 0 and so on. So we are going to find out the IP value here. IP equal to 2 by pi integral minus pi by 3 to plus pi by t id cos theta d theta. So this equation, by using the diagram we are writing it. Okay students. So 2 pi id integral minus pi by 3 to plus pi by 3 cos theta d theta. Integral of cos is sine. So 2 id by pi common, sine theta is the integral. Limits are minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 3. So when we substitute the limit, sine, so you are getting the value sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. So IP value we are getting after substitutions and all. So 2 root 3 by pi id. So now the RMS value of line current of the fundamental frequency component is given by I RMS is IP by root 2, but IP value we know we have just now derived it 2 root 3 by pi ID. So by root 2 is giving us the value of RMS value. So total RMS value now is becoming root 6 by pi ID. So generally RMS value of nth harmonic is given by IN is equal to I by N, where I is the fundamental current and N is the nth order harmonic. The harmonics contained in the current waveform are of the order given by h is equal to np plus 1, where n is the integer, p is the pulse number. For 6 pulse bridge converter, order of AC harmonics will be 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on. They are filtered out by using tuned filters for each one of the first 4 harmonics and a high pass filter for the rest. Now let us see power factor. AC power supplied to the converter is given by PAC is root 3 ELL I1 cos phi. Cos phi is the power factor here. Cosine of angle between voltage and current in an AC circuit is called as power factor. The DC power must match the AC power ignoring the losses in the converter. So we get PAC or PDC is equal to VD naught ID, that is root 3 ELL I1 cos phi. So substituting for VD is equal to VD0 cos alpha and I1 equal to root 6 by pi ID, then we will obtain cos phi is equal to cos alpha. So reactive power requirements will be increased as alpha is increased from 0, and when alpha equal to 90 degrees, power factor is 0 and only reactive power will be consumed. Thank you students for watching the video. I hope the topic is clear to everyone. So next class we are going to see about the analysis of Gauge bridge including overlap. Okay. So today's class we are seeing neglecting overlap. So next class by including overlap we are going to analyze the Gauge bridge, that is for both for line commutated converter and voltage source converter, as we have seen it for without overlap. Okay students, thank you for watching the video. So last class we have seen up to only analysis by using only line commutated converter. Today's class we have seen about voltage source converter station. Okay. After this analysis, what we have seen? We have seen the pulse width modulation, very important technique students. So we have to know what is pulse width modulation. Then we have analyzed the HVDC converters. That is same thing whatever I am telling you from 3 classes, but now what I have done, all these points I have put together in one place. So we have to know what are the valve voltage rating. Okay. So under valve voltage rating we have seen peak inverse voltage PIV and utilization factor, and one more thing is transformer rating. Okay. So for a 6 pulse converter bridge we are seeing the analysis here. This is called as Gauge circuit and it is a 6 pulse converter bridge. So 135 diodes are in one cycle and 462 are in another cycle. So in one more diagram what we have seen, when any two diodes are acting at a time. Okay, in this diagram what we have seen, two valves conducting at a time, that is 6 1, 1 2, 2 3, 3 4, 4 5, 5 6. So all 6 diagrams are shown, that is which valve is conducting at what time. Then we have seen transformer rating. Then without overlap we are seeing. Without overlap means what? We have made the assumptions here. AC voltage at the converter input is sinusoidal and constant, and DC current is constant. Valves are assumed as ideal switches with zero impedance when conducting and with infinite impedance when not conducting. Then we have seen firing angle delay. Delay angle is the time required for firing the pulses in a converter for its conduction. It is expressed in electrical degrees. So when alpha equal to 0, commutation will take place naturally and converter will act as rectifier, and alpha greater than 0. So negative spikes will appear, and direction of power flow is from AC to DC without change in magnitude of current. And when alpha equal to 90 degrees, negative and positive portions of voltage are equal, and because of fact DC voltage per cycle is 0, energy transfer is also 0. When alpha is greater than 90 degrees, converter will act as inverter and the flow of power is from DC to AC. Then we have seen VDC value. DC voltage waveform we have seen. Okay, so these are the voltage waveform of direct voltage and valve voltage. Then AC current waveform we have seen. It is assumed that direct current has no ripples because of smoothing reactor, and AC currents flowing through valve and primary winding of converter will contains harmonics. So AC current waveform is shown here, and we have formulated the equation for current, that is IP equal to 2 root 3 by pi ID, and RMS value also root 6 by pi ID. So RMS value of nth harmonic is given by IN is equal to I by N. I will be the fundamental current and N is the nth order harmonic. Okay. Power factor we have seen, that is PAC is root 3 LL I1 cos phi. Cos phi is power factor here. So after substituting VDC is VD0 cos phi and I1 is root 6 by pi ID, we obtain cos phi is equal to cos alpha. Reactive power requirements will be increased as alpha is increased from 0. When alpha is 90 degrees, power factor is 0 and only reactive power is consumed. Okay, students, I hope today's class is clear to everyone. Thank you everyone for watching the video.